Hello friends, this is Tony Dizant, Space Rocker of the Planet Earth, back with another live video today. So happens to be Memorial Day. It's a Monday, but it's not a manic Monday because a lot of people were off today. There's people doing their barbecues, getting in the pool, going to the beach, and whatever you're doing, make sure that you do it with caution and don't get hurt. But anyways, I decided to come up and talk about something today, and even though really don't need to be doing this stuff, but I like talking to you here, and I appreciate everybody that comes in my life, and of course, um, the people over the years that have supported me, my music, my videos, and all that. And of course, I'm going to talk today about something that is very real right now, and it's basically the cost of living. So, I want to make this video be called Free Enterprise. Why do we have it? Okay, free enterprise is something that we have here in the United States. Free enterprise. And that means that basically you can buy this pencil for 10 cents if you can, and then sell it for $1. Maybe make a little decoration on it or whatever, and do something different to the pencil, and then try to sell it for $1. And in the process, you're gonna make what? 10 cents, dollar, 90 cents. Maybe you spend a little bit in decorations. I don't know, maybe decorations are another 10 cents. So you're making 80 cents for every pencil that you decorate, you paint or whatever, and you sell it. And then you could, these days, you could probably just go on the internet, put it on there, put many different pencils, and have them all sold around the world, practically for free. Get somebody to ship it, get somebody to take care of the banking. You never see the product unless you have it in your house or in a warehouse and you're doing the decorations yourself. But if you have people doing that for you too, then you got to take away that cost, and maybe you'll make 70 or 60 cents. But in any case, anything that you want to do in this United States, you can do. And that I learned at an early age. How? I rubbed elbows with in my early days with some people that knew a lot about business. And they taught me well. And they said, so and so, if you do this, this is what's gonna come out. If you do this, this is gonna come out. But what I most remember about what they told me was that because inflation, and you've heard that word many times now, lately, inflation, because of inflation, everything is gonna cost double what it costs. Every 10 years, everything is gonna cost double. Like say, if the bread costs $1, In 10 years, it'll cost $2. Until in another 10 years, it'll cost $4. And in another 4 years, 10 years, it'll cost $8. So the bread went from $1 to $8 in 40 years. And that's exactly what's been happening right now. What they told me back in the day, it's been happening exactly as they told me, except for one thing. There's been some hiccups along the way. And what do I mean by that? Hiccups. Okay, I could tell you one hiccup that I remember, and not to go too far back, the Y2K. When we switched from 1999 to the year 2000. Oh, they said it was gonna be the end of the blah 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 blah, and of course they said that that was the end of the .com bubble or the online businesses or whatever. That wasn't the case, but because now we have a thriving e-commerce right now, like you won't believe. Everything is sold on the minute to the second to the millisecond. Everything's being sold on the internet around the world. Everything is being exchanged and people buying things and getting them in front of their house within hours. So where did all that panic go? That the .com era was gonna end. If anything, you go www.blah.com and you'll have whatever you order in a matter of minutes sometimes. And that's gonna be getting better. So they lied. That's the first hiccup that I can remember. I can remember of another ones a little far back, but then the 2008 debacle came. And before that, I think it was the Enron era where they start sharing papers and throwing them down the bills. I know you remember that, but uh, where they started shredding papers, and that was the era of some people that were cooking the books. That happened between, I think, 2004 2005. But in my case, then came 2005, which was Hurricane Katrina, the worst major hurricane that ever came by. To this day, it killed over, I guess, over 1,400 people. And I had to live through all that. Then that was a hiccup down here. It wasn't a hiccup everywhere, but it was a hiccup down here. Then the 2008 debacle, where they started, the economy plummeted down. They had to bail out the banks and all that good stuff. And you remember that. Then we had what? I think hurricanes kept coming, disasters kept coming. If it wasn't a wildfire, it was an earthquake or a hurricane or whatever. But every year we had some things, and of course we have up and downs in the stock market and all that good stuff. Plus, we had all these wars that never end. Now, all of a sudden, the war in Afghanistan, after 20 years, 2019, they decided to bring back everybody. Let alone we know we were going to go through some worse hiccup, the 2020 pandemic. And that, you guys know that that took really about 2.5 years, but they extended it to 4 years because it made them money. The pandemic became lucrative for a lot of people. Now we're in 2025. What are they gonna do next? That's my question. But in the military, they have something called the cost of living allowance. COLA, they call it. COLA, cost of living allowance. And of course, that means that if you were in the military and you were in another area that was the cost of living was higher, the military will compensate you with an additional check so that you can make ends meet if you work for the military. Okay? And I experienced that. So let's recap. I'm going back way back to maybe the early 90s. I'm rubbing elbows with all these millionaires. I'm like a cockroach in a chicken coop because I have no idea what they're doing, but I'm learning. And they're telling me things that are going to benefit me throughout my life, even though I didn't know it at that time. So I said, let's give it a chance. Let me give these people a chance. Let me give these people a break, because of course when you come from poor family, poor families always tell you that money is the root of all evil, that money's no good, that don't worry about having money because you'll never have it, or they put a lot of bad stuff in your mind about money. And so it's very hard to get out of all that conditioning and start rubbing elbows with some millionaires that are like you. They're always happy, their kids don't care less, and they're always happy with each other. It's a whole bunch of happy people that get together and celebrate what is called free enterprise. I had no clue what that meant. Then one day they take me to a church thing. To On Sundays they go to church, but they don't go to church to celebrate God in particularly. They go to church to thank God that they're free, that they have a lot of money, and that they teach everybody to be like them. But even though a lot of people don't listen to them, they still free, and they celebrate freedom because God gave them the light, and they thanking God every single Sunday. A little different than church, but and they mention Jesus and all that, but they're just like, thank you God for giving me all this money. Let me see what good I can do with it. So I learned that too. I learned that you could, if you have money, you could do good with it or you could do bad with it. But these people that I was hanging with, they were doing good things with their money. And they were teaching people like me, a cockroach in the chicken coop, that didn't know the first meaning of free enterprise and money. And I bump into these guys. I spent about a couple of years with them. That's all I needed. I've been free ever since. I've been free in my mind. I've been free from thinking that I'm not worth. I've been free from thinking that I can't do. I've been free from a lot of things because these people taught me. Then they taught me well. And now I can tell you this much. I'm becoming a freedom lover. Not a freedom fighter. A freedom lover. And why do I love freedom? I love freedom because I know it's possible. And I know it can be done. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter where you was born. And before I thought that, okay, if you're born in one of these places that you have no chance in life of, swimming through the sharks and getting to this place right here, the United States of America, you may have a hard time. But that's not the case. The case is you can be free from everything. You can be free. It's all your mind. It's all in your attitude. It's all how you do things. And if you work smart enough, not hard enough, smart enough, and you start learning from people that have done it, there's no way that if somebody did it, you can't do it. Okay? So don't think that because so and so did it, oh, because they came from a good family or they came from whatever. No. This is the United States of America. You could be here with nothing, and in a few years, you can have everything. It's all up to you. So, we're saying free enterprise, freedom lovers, and the ability to make a pencil, a 10-cent pencil become $1, and you selling millions and millions of pencils around the world. It can happen. That's just an example, okay? Free enterprise, multi-dimensional, I'm not talking about multiple stream of incomes. No, multi-dimensional income. In the palm of your hands. Multi-dimensional income. Look that one up. So if you have a burning desire doing something, you can do it. Just get on with the right people. Start learning. If you don't have anything else, go into the internet, and there's nothing you can learn these days. The internet is there for you to learn. If you don't want to be hanging out with people. But, just keep looking at the right information, the right tools, and keep it going. It doesn't matter what's happening in the world. You can still make it happen. And with this one, I want to say hi to everybody. I want to say hi to all the people around the world that follow my music and follow my videos. I know who you are, and I really appreciate it. If you stick around this long, you learn something today. You learn that you can start with nothing and make yourself whatever you want. And you can become a freedom lover and be free. This is Tony Dizant, space rocker of the planet Earth, still living in this beautiful planet called Earth today with the message of free enterprise. Look it up.